Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Wow.
That was quite
You
low.
sounded like Elvis or something then. Merry Christmas,
Elvis
everyone.
Presley in the building. Guys, welcome to our Christmas special.
Woo! And what's defining it as a Christmas special is the fact that we have these little party hats on.
Again, if you're just listening on audio, you won't see, but we've both got two little pointy silver and gold party hats on because
it's Christmas.
It's Christmas, everyone.
Christmas has arrived at the Safe from Rach. It's Not Just You podcast.
Yes.
And we're going to be chatting all things Christmas today.
Guys, we're quite excited for this one.
Yeah.
Mix it up a bit. We've got a bit of audience participation.
Yes, we do.
And it's going to be a good one.
Mm-hmm. Are you feeling Christmassy?
I am.
Today's date is the 11th of December. So
I've been feeling Christmassy since probably midway through October, to be honest.
Whoa.
Yeah, I was an early bloomer this year.
Whoa, that's crazy.
Yeah, just, I don't know, started playing Christmas music around then. It got colder, you know.
It got colder.
I don't know. Usually I'm a bit of a late one, but this year's been different for me. So I am well and truly in the Christmas spirit.
I love that for you.
Had plenty of mulled wine. We've had a little kind of like a little Christmas dinner already.
Yeah. I've actually, two now I've had.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 2 last week.
Oh, lovely. Just a side note, guys, me and Soph made this meal the other night where we basically did a kind of like a Christmas dinner in a bowl.
Yeah.
And it was
like
delicious.
a deconstructed roast.
Yeah.
We saw it on TikTok.
Yeah.
So it was
Classic.
like a bed of roast potatoes with then like chicken stuffing, some pigs in a blankets, gravy. So it wasn't all the components,
bit
but
of cheese.
very easy as well to kind of put together.
Yeah, and tell you what, we were full after.
Gosh,
to be
I look like
out.
I was 6 months pregnant, to be honest.
But yeah, I am. Are you?
I think so, yeah. I think the weekends have felt quite Christmassy, just with things that have been happening. But then I do think sometimes like a Monday rolls around and you're just like, what's different?
I'm at work, yeah.
But I have done some nice Christmassy things so far in the month of December. So it's only up from here, really.
It's only up. We're not far off now.
Yeah, so Christmas is well and truly here, and we're going to be chatting about Christmas-themed topics, is what I'm going to call it.
Do we have a title for this episode?
Is it, It's Not Just You That Finds Christmas Hard?
Yes. I think so.
Can find Christmas hard?
Yeah, can find Christmas hard. Or essentially in today's episode, we basically want to get Christmassy, but also talk about the flip side of Christmas.
Yeah.
Where
it can be difficult.
Not in a negative way, but just in a real way.
You know,
don't want to be a Grinch, but
no. Yeah, it's not going to be like, oh, don't you hate it when there's like sparkly lights up everywhere? Oh, it's so annoying. We just wanted to bring
you that hates Christmas.
Have a real conversation about Christmas, and as amazing as it is, as joyful as it is, as merry as it is, there are things that can be difficult about Christmas.
And I do think genuinely, for a lot of people, Christmas just actually isn't a joyful, merry time.
No, it can be one of the hardest times of year.
Yeah, and that is okay. And I actually don't think it's spoken enough about. So,
but don't want that to put you off listening to this podcast. If you come here for a bit of Christmas cheer and you're thinking, gosh, we're going to be bringing a light-hearted touch.
Yeah, we are.
So, buckle in, guys.
So,
hold on to your hats.
Should we start with we were just thinking the other day, what are just some like kind of silly, it's not just you.
Just a bit silly.
Just a bit crazy.
Yeah. So we're going to start light and go progressively deeper.
Yeah.
So if you want to just tune out as soon as it gets too deep for you, feel free to do that.
Feel free. But we were just thinking of like, what are those like moments at Christmas that are just, I don't know, a bit weird or a bit challenging. So go on, Soph. What's one?
I want to start with work Secret Santa.
Ooh. Are you having to do that?
I am, yes.
Okay.
£5 budget.
Okay.
With the theme of edible.
Okay.
So there's not really much.
Specific.
Well, I think it just helps it narrow it down for people.
That makes it easier. Yeah.
Which is good because you know, we've all had it where you've done a Secret Santa, you get a name, you're like, I barely even know who they are, let alone what to buy them for Christmas.
Yeah.
And you're trying to, you know, text their, I don't know, husband, like, hey, just wondering what so-and-so would like. Oh yeah, I've got a £2 budget as well. So if it could be within £2, that would be really helpful.
To be fair, actually, having that category of food does make it easier.
Yeah, because then it's like, just buy them their favourite box of chocolates and you're like, well, I couldn't really do much more with £5.
I think basically sometimes it's just that energy of like, you get given a colleague who, let's be honest, you might not know very well. Or like, I don't know, maybe you get someone who really cares about gifts, or just like the pressure essentially of, ooh, how do I like get the right kind of tone here of like something that's actually nice.
Yeah.
Or depending on their personality. But then if you don't know them, like you say, you end up doing an old text to the old hubby or wife.
The neighbour. I remember though, when I was growing up, in our kind of wider friendship group, we'd always do a Secret Santa.
Yeah.
And our friendship group is like a mix of girls and boys. And so, I mean, sorry to anyone who might be listening to this who was part of the Secret Santa, but I always did feel like sometimes if you got one of the boys, you were at a disadvantage. Like if they were giving you your present, well, kind of both ways, because I find it hard to know what to buy guys anyway. But then the flip of like sometimes, I don't know, you just see some of the girls with these really thoughtful gifts. Like I know this is your favorite like brand of bath soap, and I went and got you a full set, and and then the boys be like, oh, I got you like a dairy milk bar. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So sometimes you can just be looking at other people's gifts like,
God, no, I relate. But I think also with the work vibe, just work and Christmas, I mean, inevitably the work Christmas party rolls around, doesn't it?
It does.
And I feel like there's just so many things that are just slightly weird about it. Like, actually not particularly in my work context, but I think generally in work contexts, we're in quite unique situations where we are just friends with loads of our colleagues. But I can imagine for the average person, it's like, it's the one time of the year where you're seeing like, or maybe one of the 2 times a year where you're in a more social context with your colleagues. Yeah. And it's just easy to overthink, isn't it? Like, how do I be in that context? What do I wear?
Yeah. I mean, I remember at school, it was always kind of, I mean, it's hard to know how much of it was true and how much of it was just fabricated. But, you know, people would start talking about, the teachers, like staff Christmas party, like, oh, apparently so-and-so got really drunk.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, I mean, how do I even know this? But I mean, I've had friends who have said like, oh, flip, I made a fool of myself at the work Christmas party.
People let their hair down and you're like, oh gosh, didn't know you were like that outside of work. Oh. And also just, I think just the classic thing is like where it's a dress up kind of scene and you're like, I just don't know what. Yeah. Well, I guess generally you do know what's appropriate, but when it comes to like,
well, you're like, I want to look nice.
You want to wear a dress or you want to, and it's like, ooh, like what is the vibe?
Yeah, because you might not necessarily wear, if it was like you and your girls going on a night out, you're not probably going to wear that. But then you're also like, oh, but I don't want to look boring and like I'm going to my grand's party. Do you know what I mean?
I saw this
Where's
video,
the line?
I think I showed it to you of like this guy, like this older guy, like clearly, I don't know, higher up in like the organisation in the middle of this massive like dance circle, basically like absolutely going for it, like twerking or whatever to this like really like inappropriate song. And the caption was just like me bringing out this video midway through the year when I need like a pay rise.
Getting the blackmail content.
Do you remember this?
Yeah. If you don't want this to go on the Teams chat, you better give me that pay rise.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. So I think there is just a lot of forced socializing around Christmas as well, which is always just, well, it's not always great, is it?
Yeah. It's just, I don't know. And there's always just expectations around all of these things of them being like the most amazing bonding time. Like, and it's just sometimes like, oh gosh. Like I was just deep the other day. Why at Christmas do we do work things?
I guess it's just a reason to come together and celebrate.
Yeah, I guess it's quite reflective as well. Like at the end of the year, well done to the team vibe.
And it is, and like you say, it is the kind of end of the calendar year, isn't it? Of you know, we're all going home, we're all going back to families and stuff. Let's have a moment to. But you do kind of think if Christmas wasn't a thing, would you still do all of that stuff?
Yes.
You might do, like I said, because it's just the end of the year anyway, and it's just a reason for people to get together and socialise. And but even just stuff like I've heard people where their work plans a Christmas party and it's like, so it'll be like £90 a head. So if you could just all pay, like, it's like,
I know this is on the organisation.
Why would I pay £90 to hang out with people I don't want to hang out with? Do you know what I mean? Like, and again, that's not me speaking about my work, but I know other people where they've worked in these like offices where they're like, I know 2 people
or just like
there.
CBA to socialise with my colleagues.
Yeah,
it's work.
Let alone spend loads of money on it.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, another one that we've put in this category of like the lighter, harder topics is, what do you buy your dad for Christmas?
It's not just you who doesn't know what to buy your dad for Christmas.
Yeah, man.
Dad, if you're listening to this, send over a couple of ideas, will ya?
Well, my problem more so is that my dad essentially just says the same thing every year.
What?
Coffee, chocolate, beer.
Well, then surely that's easy.
But it just
you want to
feels
get them
boring.
Something special.
It just feels like, and I feel like with my mum, I can always think of a bit of an out of the box present or something that's different every year. It's like, oh really? Especially when that's all edible things. It's like you can't keep any of those things. They're gonna be gone in like 2 days. Do you know what I mean?
There's just so many stereotypes when it comes to buying for your
beer,
dad.
coffee.
It's like
chocolate.
Oh, all right, then I'll get you a gadget.
Oh, it's even that, or like a new light for my bike, a new high-vis vest when I'm cycling to work,
new like portable phone charger. Like it's just so practical.
Have you ever seen that shop, Mankind? Have you ever seen it? It's like they used to have one in Nottingham, and it was basically like a shop for men, and in there would just be like all these like gadgets or things where it's like a remote control massager. Do you know what I mean? Where it's like.
But why? Like, I mean, I guess in the same essence, you could stereotype gifts for a mum.
But I feel like it's way more broad.
Yeah, I mean, it's like...
I think it's just funny to me as well that I do just kind of think all dads are the same. Like, because he was a new set of Allen keys.
That really makes me want to think outside the box.
I know, but that's what I mean.
You could go down the sentimental route.
Like what?
I don't know, like printing out...
a picture to put on his desk at the office.
No, but like, I don't know.
Get him a gadget. Go on.
What did I get? Oh, I usually get my dad clothes. Last year,
so
do you remember
I.
we both bought our dads the same shirt? Yeah. Didn't your dad not like it? Or
no, it just didn't fit.
Oh, I got a different size, but then dad did like it.
And then I don't think I ever got him anything else.
What, you never...
Well, I think I took it back and returned it.
What, and didn't exchange it?
Well, they didn't have, by the time I'd gone in January, they didn't have the same shirts. So sorry, Dad, I need to get you a double.
Guys, to be honest, that's a little hint for you. Muji. I don't know why.
Muji.
How do you say it?
Muji.
Yeah, Muji.
Sorry, it's just like the tone.
They have really, actually some lovely clothes. We got both our dads a shirt there last year. Anyways.
Well, your dad got a shirt.
Yeah, Soph's dad never got it. Sorry, Richard.
Yeah, sorry.
It's horrible.
I'll get you 2 shirts this year.
We put up a poll on our story on Instagram saying, do you ever find Christmas a hard time of year? And then we put 4 options. So slightly niche, I guess, to what we put in the poll. But we said, I find the pressure of having a good time a lot. Then we said family dynamics can be tricky. Then I find it quite overhyped. Or it's hard being single at this time of year. So kind of took some different categories there. Being single, family dynamics, finding it to be quite overhyped, and then the pressure of having a good time. And guys, got a lot of votes in this with different people selecting different options. The most selected option, 43% of people said that family dynamics can be tricky.
Yes.
Then after that was... people find the pressure of having a good time a lot. And then the whole singleness thing, finding it hard being on your own this time of year. And then finally finding it overhyped. A lot of people also said that. So that was quite interesting.
Yeah.
And then we put up a little question box where we said, what do you find hard about Christmas? And to be honest, guys, the responses were actually fascinating.
Yeah.
And all just really true things that are tricky.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, interesting that the highest one was family dynamics.
Yeah. And I think that was also a lot of what people were talking about in the question box. And I do think there is just something around family, people, the whole, I mean, they're all kind of in some ways, I think, entwined into one thing, all of those responses, even on the different poll options. But I think one thing that really stood out to me that someone put in the question box was just around like comparing families.
Yes.
Which I know, you know, even we were speaking about it before, where we've both done it before, where I guess you can see someone's perfect version of their family on Instagram and, you know, stories of their Christmas day and who's round at their table, their house, and, you know, reflect on your own family and think, oh, well, I don't know, that looks more fun, or they've got a bigger family than me that looks more lively, or their family looks really peaceful and wholesome, and their cooking looks better, and I don't know, whatever it is, like
their roast looks better than mine.
Yeah, they've got more presents.
Yeah.
And, oh, they do that nice tradition and I don't. And, you know, for whatever reason, I think it is really easy to start comparing families, situations at home with other people.
Yeah, and I think that ties in a bit to like expectations versus reality of everywhere. Even I guess like we're saying at the start of this podcast, like, oh, Christmas is a merry time, it's a joyful time. And I guess the pressure sometimes of feeling like Christmas is a time for family where, you know, everyone goes home, they're with their, well, not everyone, but largely speaking, a lot of people go home, they're with their kind of relatives, they're not so typically with their mates, but with like family. And I just think with that comes a lot of pressure of like, we need to have a good time. We need to get along. We need to celebrate this time of year. And I guess there is just a real simple reality of like, if you have a tricky relationship with a member of family,
or even don't have a family.
Yeah, or just don't have one at all. And there's this time of year there's so much emphasis put on family and getting on with family. Of course, that's then going to make it a really difficult time of year because it's the one time of 12 months that you're confronted with the fact that you don't really get on with that, you know, family member or that sibling or your mum or your dad or whoever it is, and you actually have to go home and confront it.
But it's also, I think, weird in the sense of, so say for us, we live in Birmingham and a lot of our friends aren't necessarily from Birmingham. They've moved here for uni, work, other reasons. And so if you say live in Birmingham and you feel like you've got community here and really great friendships, but then it is, like you say, that one time of year where then pretty much everyone is like dispersed and goes back to their homes. And so even if you feel like, oh, I've got good friendship and good community around me, it almost feels maybe like the one time of year where that then disappears because everyone goes and are with their families.
Yeah.
So it's quite rare to have, you know, a group of friends like, oh, we'll do a friend's Christmas day. And, you know, if you don't have family or you don't get on with them, that you could do an alternative option with other people. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
Which is really tricky.
And I think, well, even just to read a few out that are kind of revolved around family, someone said they find it really hard missing loved ones. Yeah. Again, that's so true. Like, it can be a time of
it's a reminder, isn't it?
Grief. Like, oh, this person was here last year or 5 years ago and they're not here today. And again, the emphasis put on relationships and love and, you know, family and friends, where that's lacking, it's just really highlighted. Like, oh, you know, like let's say you've lost one of your parents. It's like, because there's so much emphasis put on being with your family, that just feels really intense. And then like someone else said, find it hard splitting time between mine and my husband's family. Someone said that they have no wider family, so can be lonely with immediate family.
Yeah.
Like not having cousins or, you know, aunties, uncles, grandparents. So yeah, I feel like that's a really common thing that actually just isn't really spoken about.
Yeah. Yeah. And it is, I mean, we were even just saying, you know, everything around Christmas, even though, I mean, for us, it's like, you know, it's not necessarily about all these commercialized things of gifts. For us, it's like, you know, the story of Jesus and celebrating him. But I do think that, you know, so much of what is revolved around Christmas is family and relationships. And even in all these films, like we've watched Love Actually, and then The Holiday, it's all about family, romantic relationships,
getting together at
you
Christmas.
kind of can't escape it. And I'm trying to even think now of a Christmas film that isn't revolved around a family or a love story or relationships. And yeah, I guess even going into that other category of people that find it hard being single at Christmas, it is weird with Christmas that this thing that actually isn't necessarily about, well, it is about family and it is about being with the people that you love in some way, but that is such a central part to everything you see and everything that's kind of spoken about around Christmas. And yeah, especially I think as well, the whole dating relationship side of it is something that's really pushed as well. I mean, I feel like it's become a bit of a joke over the years of like, I'll get a boyfriend for Christmas and, you know, you can like cuddle up and watch Christmas films and go to the Christmas markets and all of that. And yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, like someone's literally said here, they find it really hard being single, romanticized films, someone to snuggle up with.
Feel you, girl.
But it is interesting, like, why this time of year. I think, like you say, some of it is the emphasis on just relationships generally, and like even like in a non-romantic sense, just everyone coming together and love. But then also, like, I genuinely do think like the winter, there's just part of it that's like,
maybe it's just like,
maybe it's a biology.
Yeah. Maybe it's
not
like
us trying to violate
animals like burrow down and hibernate.
No, but like,
I don't know.
But like,
I think I do think a massive part of it is what's pushed in like films and stuff like that.
Subconsciously.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I mean, I guess you could say that at any time of year, there's probably romantic films in the summer and the spring.
Do you find it hard being single at Christmas? Would you say it's the time of year that you
I feel like I maybe think about it more than I would normally. I maybe wouldn't go as far as to say hard, but I feel like, again, you just, you know, you watch something like Love Actually or The Holiday and you're like, oh, that looks quite nice.
That would do nicely.
That'll do nicely. But even just, I don't know, like, get an extra present.
Yeah, but you also have to buy an extra present.
Yeah, but you get an extra present.
Yeah, but do you know what I mean? Like,
no, but it's, yeah, but I don't mind that. I quite like that.
A special present from a special loved one.
Yeah. That's what I'm after this year.
Yeah. Right. Another really true one that someone said that I have not actually consciously thought about was being asked what you're up to and having to talk about your job or like your lack of job.
Yeah.
And it's so true. Again, as you kind of interact with people that you wouldn't see potentially throughout the year, it's just question after question. So what are you doing at the moment?
Yeah.
What are you up to?
Yeah.
Oh, you're doing that. Oh, okay. How long do you think you'll be doing that? Oh, have you met anyone?
Yeah.
You're still single? Oh, wow. Like, oh my gosh.
Same as last year.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's the thing, because you can't.
Please tell us that you've got a boyfriend. Come on.
You do have that year. It is that yearly marker. Like, say, for a lot of family members or people that you just pretty much see once a year, it does feel like quite a direct comparison.
Yeah.
So you told me this last year. Any improvements?
Any advancement? No? And like, yeah, that's the way it's phrased, is like progress.
Yeah.
If you've got a boyfriend now, well done.
You have progressed.
Yeah. And it's like, actually, that's not how I define progress.
Any job promotions?
Yeah.
Oh,
you're still working there. Yeah. Oh gosh.
Still getting paid
still
minimum
in the
wage.
Same role. Yeah. But that is true. Like, I think, and I mean, we're going to do a New Year's special as well, guys. Yeah. So this is kind of bordering on that, but it is a time for reflection where even you yourself might just be confronted with, oh, this time last year, what was I doing? Oh, it looked like that. So like, even let's say in a year you've had things that, I don't know, like just not great things happen. You almost look back and it's quite hard to just not feel like,
Yeah. I do think it is a bit of a marker moment, isn't it? Christmas. Yeah. What was I doing this time last year at Christmas? Is it that different from now? Or even like going back to loved ones, or even I was speaking to someone the other day who was like, oh, I've just been through a breakup, and so I don't want to watch the Christmassy romance films. Yeah. Last year, you're probably thinking, oh,
well, you just start thinking,
my boyfriend was here. Now
exactly.
I'm single. What's happened there? And yeah, it's a moment to pause and reflect.
It is,
which is sometimes good, sometimes unhelpful.
Yeah.
Right. Any more? What else have people been saying in the question box?
I think there is one here around.
Oh, what about this first one?
Oh, yeah. Uni deadlines
in Jan. Stressing about essays over Christmas.
This again is not spoken
I never
enough
had
about. That. I did. There was one in my second year at uni. I had 4 deadlines immediately after Christmas, and they were big essays.
I remember that.
It was horrible.
I remember you texting you, and you'd been doing loads on like Christmas Eve.
Yeah. Like I just remember being sat in my dining room, and I think at that point I just thought this Christmas is just going to be a working Christmas.
It's a write-off.
I've got hopefully many more Christmases to have, so I'm just going to write this off. And it was just awful. But I do think.
But so many people work over Christmas.
Yeah, and even literally work in their jobs.
That's what I mean. As in they're at work on Christmas Day or Boxing Day.
We've got friends working Christmas Day.
Yeah.
New Year's Eve, all those dates that you would think, oh, I get off. And it's just a bit crap again.
Yeah. I think that's where as well, the other point where it kind of ties into this thing of it being this pressured event of this perfect day, or even where some people have written, someone put, what was it? Something about basically when you're a child and it's so magical and everything's like, oh my gosh. And then you're an adult and you're just kind of like, yeah, it's a nice day, but it's fine. Do you know what I mean?
I do remember that moment of Christmas changed from being the most exciting thing ever to
cool. I think the main thing for me that I can notably see as a change is, I would barely get any sleep on Christmas Eve. I'd be basically just watching the clock. And now I'm I still don't really want to get out of bed.
Guys, this is just a side note, but did anyone else make it their life's mission to try and prove that Santa wasn't real? Because I did it to the point that I went to a Christmas fete and Santa gave me reindeer food, and on it said reindeers can sniff the food and will eat it. So I hid reindeer food all around my lounge, near the chimney and stuff, because I was if Santa's real, the reindeers will sniff it out and eat it. And if not, then I've proven my parents wrong. I remember I came down and the reindeer food was still there.
But bruv, the reindeer aren't going into the house.
I did just think that. And I think that's what my parents said.
So, well, of course they didn't eat it. They don't come into the house. They stay on the roof, don't they? Got you there.
But I just feel bad for my parents, any way that I could try and disprove.
Yeah. And you just are caught there I'm literally just having to lie to my child.
Well, the reindeers didn't come in. Yeah, anyway.
Yeah, I can't remember what we were saying. Just the day being a pressured event.
Yeah.
And so, if you're working on Christmas Day or Boxing Day or whatever, then, it's probably not going to be the best day. It's I was at work.
Exactly. So I think, guys, basically, to sum this up, we need to enjoy Christmas if we can, but also just take a bit of the pressure off.
Absolutely.
And also just, I just think we should normalize actually the parts of Christmas that are hard. If you're finding it really hard being single, chat to your mates about it, or again, not to make it too deep, but if watching romantic after romantic after romantic film just isn't great for you, suggest a different film to your friends, or I don't know, don't watch it.
I was gonna say then just watch Elf or something. Then I realised there's a whole romantic plot line in Elf.
No, just watch what film isn't revolved?
That's what I mean. Love? I was gonna say watch The Nativity, but
I was gonna say watch The Hunger Games, but
no, that's got
no. Okay,
just don't watch a film.
Just
right?
don't watch one. Do you know what? We don't always need to watch one.
Just go out for a nice meal. And I was thinking as well, where you can feel pressure to have these traditions or match your Christmas to someone else's or another family that you've seen.
Yeah.
But maybe you find Christmas with your family difficult. Is it can you make new traditions? Can you do things that Yeah, they're a bit out of the box or feel a bit unconventional, but if that's what is going to make you happy and they're actually the people that you want to spend Christmas with, then I don't know, why not just try something different?
Also, legit, if comparing your Christmas to other people's is genuinely something that just gets you down, why not be on Instagram over Christmas?
Get off.
Because legit, you could be having actually a great day and you open up an Instagram story and it's of someone's family jumping around together, like frolicking and eating the most elite Christmas meal you've ever seen. And like, even if it's not conscious, subconsciously, you're just like, oh, like my day's not been like that. We don't need that.
Absolutely
like, honestly,
not.
Like, take us back to the days where there wasn't social media and you wouldn't know how anyone else's Christmas actually looked unless they explained it to you. You don't actually need to be feeding your mind with like, look at this person and look at this person. So,
and also you just have to remember that Instagram is the highlights.
It is.
No one's going to put a video.
They could have turned off that phone and have a screaming, shouting match. And often,
and no one's putting that on Instagram Reels, are they?
And maybe they didn't have a screaming match and they are just having a great day. That's also okay. But when it like just sparks a lot of bitterness in you, it's like, do you want to feel that? Like, maybe not.
Yeah. So I think get off Instagram.
Stop
watching those films. And just, it's back to the JOMO.
It's JOMO, and it's also just allowing yourself to feel the emotions. If Christmas is a really hard time for you, full of grief or just sadness or loneliness, don't try and bury it down. Like, do just allow yourself to feel it, and like try and reach out to the people around you and be honest with how you're feeling. And I'm sure people will listen and be able to just comfort you in that. But no one's going to know that you're finding Christmas hard unless you say.
Yes. Yeah. Love it. Oh,
love it. Love it, love it, love it.
Oh, what fun.
Let's end with a little carol. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you...
That is the weirdest thing we've ever done. I was like, if we keep singing this, then that is just strange. I'm not doing that.
Oh, do you know what? We just wish you a
very Merry Christmas. What's the thing what's that thing that like Tiny Tim says? God bless you, everyone, or something like that in a Christmas carol.
What?
In a Christmas carol.
Do JLS. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Anyway.
God bless you, everyone. I think that's what Tiny Tim says.
Okay, cool. Right. Well, bye, guys.
Yeah.
We'll see you probably with a New Year's special.
Yeah.
Or maybe a little ep in between.
Yeah. But genuinely hope you have great Christmases.
Whatever that
looks like for you.
Yeah.
No pressure.
All right. Ta-da.
Bye.
Bye.